How are we doing today? But hey, Jeff, if I'm in the monitors, can you back me out of those? It kind of throws me off. So, movie history time. This is kind of recent movie history. It's movie history bad guys. So, Harry Potter fans, anybody out there? Harry Potter? There's a bad guy in Harry Potter. Interesting thing about the bad guy, his name's Lord Voldemort. If I was in Harry Potter, people would be yelling at me. Okay? Well, it turns out that he was destroyed and gone. And the Ministry of Magic, which is the wise council that's in charge of everybody, truly believed that he was disappeared to the point where you weren't supposed to talk about it. And when people suggested that he would come back, they said, well, that's impossible. We would have known. If Harry Potter's not your thing, there was this movie was out years ago, and then they made a couple other movies about it you might have heard of called Star Wars. Anybody? Okay. Star Wars, in one of the prequels that they made, a Jedi Master finds this little boy named Anakin, who, spoiler alert, would grow up to be Darth Vader, and he brings him before the super wise Jedi Council, which to me, out of all the councils, I have to admit, this is probably the coolest one. I mean, Yoda's there and all this, and they're sitting, and they're like Jedis, which makes them cooler than everybody else already, but then they're the Jedi Council, so like the best of all the Jedis. And he says, I believe that the Sith has returned. And if you're not familiar with all this random Star Wars talk, the Sith is the epitome of evil. He is the dark side. He's the opposite of good. And what do they say? Very confidently in their wise voice, I do not think that could have happened without us knowing. So we're not going to talk about that. That doesn't exist. And my personal favorite out of the three references I'm about to start you with is from The Lord of the Rings. I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd. J.R.R. Tolkien, Christian, in case you didn't know that, used to spend a lot of time walking with C.S. Lewis, who wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, who's one of our formative Christian authors, not in the Chronicles of Narnia, but in all kinds of other stuff that he wrote. At the beginning of The Lord of the Rings, they tell the history of Middle-earth, and they talk about Sauron, who again is the epitome of darkness, and he creates a ring, the Ring of Power, and he uses it to corrupt men, dwarves and elves, and he gives them the things they want more than anything, money and power, and he uses it against them. But in the battle at the beginning, it's this big scene, and they pull back, and they defeat Sauron, and he is destroyed forever. I think we're probably one of these. He's destroyed forever, and he could never come back. And every time anyone convenes to discuss the existence of Sauron, they say he was destroyed forever. He will never return. Yet the ring was lost. And this is the word I want you to remember. This cool prologue with this weird music is playing. And a lady says, the ring left. And some things that should not have been forgotten were. And history became legend. And legend became myth. And for 2,500 years, the ring fell out of all knowledge. And so everyone that once knew what had happened didn't even believe it as a history anymore. Didn't even believe it as a legend. It was now a myth of something that never happened. And so finally, my last movie historical background on you is from the movie Men in Black. Have you guys seen that movie? Okay, if you have not. Men in Black is Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. They save our world from aliens. Also, spoiler alert. Will Smith actually saved our world from aliens twice that year, Independence Day actually too. Thank goodness for that guy. But in that movie, the premise is that we don't know that there's aliens everywhere. Will Smith chases a police officer in New York. He chases down this guy that's an alien. The secret group called the Men in Black that know about this and protect us from it, they recruit him. And so now he's open to this whole new world of like, whoa, this has been going on around us all this time. And basically the premise of the movie is that they have something on Earth that this alien race wants back, and if we don't get it to them, they're going to blow up the Earth. Okay? And so it gets this crazy tense moment, and they're running out of time, and the ship is threatening to blow up the Earth, and Will Smith's character freaks out at Tommy Lee Jones's character, who's really chill, and he goes, do you not remember? If you don't have time for this, there's an Arquillian battle fleet ready to... And before he can finish saying that, Tommy Lee Jones very sternly interrupts him and says, there is always an Arquillian battle fleet, or a Carillion death laser, or interplanetary plague that was going to wipe out this pitiful little planet and ruin all the little happy lives of the people here. But they won't have those happy lives if they know what's going on around them. And so this is where the sermon stops being safe. If you want to leave now, you can. I'm about to cut the blue wire. Because today God has put on my heart, timing-wise, and because this is the scripture series that we were given in our series, to talk about something that a lot of people have, like the Lord of the Rings, allowed to become, from history of our culture, from our Bible, to become legend, to become myth, and in many ways be forgotten. And that is that there is an enemy named Satan. And Satan is battling us all the time. And we wish not to talk about it because it sounds dark, and it sounds messy, and it sounds scary. But it's real. And I have first-hand experience. So what does Satan want? Well, there's a lot of Bible verses, and I picked a lot on purpose so that when we go, this isn't real. This is stuff that you're saying, like, it's straight out of the Bible. It is straight out of this book that I've been carrying around with me today. It is straight out of here. In Revelation 12, it says, "Woe the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that his time is short." And in 1 Peter 5, it says, "Be self-controlled and alert. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour." You see, we are in battle. And don't get me wrong here, it's not the same kind of battle you think. But I want to use an analogy for you for a second. You see, when we don't talk about the fact that there is an enemy, when we don't share that with our children, with our teenagers, with our college kids, with our friends, with our coworkers, when they don't recognize we're in a battle, it's basically us going, hey, you know what? There's a big army over somewhere else in the world with machine guns and tanks and Predator drones and whatever else they've got over there. And we would like to collect all your school children and moms and friends, and we're going to send you over there, and you're going to fight them with no experience and no training. And what's worse is it's really more like us going, hey, go to work. There's a battle there, but we're not going to tell you about it. And it's as if we go to work every day, at school every day, and we go to college, and we're at home doing things, and we don't recognize that we're at war. And if that's the way you live your life, that you don't recognize that there's a Satan out there that's trying to do damage to you, you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know how to handle it. And so, I want to explain a few things to you about who Satan is. He does not wear a red jumpsuit. And sadly enough, he's not ugly either. In the book of Ezekiel and in the book of Isaiah, they reference his fall and why they call him Lucifer, which translates to morning star. He was beautiful beyond compare of any of the angels, second only to God himself, which was part of his problem. Where does Satan live? I don't know if you ever thought about this. Do you ever have those things where you find something new and you thought you already knew it, but then you're like, wait a minute. That makes a lot of sense. I can't believe I never thought of it that way. That happened to me when I was doing research for the sermon. Where does Satan live? First thing, hell, right? No. Satan lives here on earth. Hell is his resting place at the end when God comes back and he wins. We win. I cheat. I read the back. In the end, we're going to win. But for now, until God comes back, he's here. How do you know that, Paul? In the book of Job, it's a whole book about Satan and God fighting over, well, really Satan trying to prove to God he can do something and God proving it wrong through his servant Job. But at one point, God says in the book of Job, Satan, where are you? And he says, I'm here on earth, wandering to and fro. That's not your Bible and mine. That's not in those extra books that nobody used to read. That's in the regular one right there in the book of Job. And he is not weak. Now, I want to remind you again, at no point during this is that real fast thing they say at the end of the commercial, at no point during this sermon do I want you to think that I think Satan has a chance, because he doesn't. We won. Jesus Christ has won the battle for all of us. But what you need to hear is, this is not some weak nobody. This was the second in command to God, who was cast out of heaven for pride, because he wanted to be more than God was. He's no joke. And that's part of the problem. So how does he work? He uses that beauty and that cleverness and his ways of knowing what makes people work to try to catch you when you are hurting and try to take advantage. So where do we go with this? I'd like to take you to the Bible, to a story that I'm going to bet many of us have heard. In the book of Matthew, in my Bible here, it says, Satan tempts Jesus in the desert. I bet most of us have heard this before. Again, this is one of those things like, no, Satan lives in hell. No, he doesn't. I guess when you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, I guess he doesn't. Satan tempted Jesus. That happened. You kind of forgot about it. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the desert to be tempted by the devil. And after fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. 40 days and 40 nights of fasting, that's a lot of fasting. I would be pretty hungry after that. I get hungry after a couple hours. I don't know if I could make 40 days and 40 nights. And it says, the tempter came to him and said, if you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread. And Jesus answered, it is written, man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. He fights back immediately with the word of God. Then the devil took him to the holy city and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. This would have been rebuilt by Herod to make it the most beautiful building and the tallest building, so he could be way up in there. And he said, if you're the Son of God, he said, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. Did you hear that? This is not a red jumpsuit, horn, forked tail guy that's coming up hissing like they want to make him out to be. This is a beautifully spoken person who's quoting the word of God to Jesus. And he says, you won't get hurt. It says so right in the Bible. Do it. And Jesus answers him, it is also written, do not put the Lord your God to the test. And so Satan again tries. And again the devil took him to a very high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. And all this I will give you, he said, if you will bow down and worship me. And Jesus said to him, away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. And then the devil left him. And then the angels came and attended him. When did Satan come to mess with Jesus? When he was hungry and alone and mentally exhausted and physically exhausted. When do we make the stupidest mistakes? When we're exhausted, when we're tired, when we're alone, when we feel like we've got nothing. And he doesn't do it for no reason. He does it because that's when we're the weakest. And he came up on Jesus and tried to do that. And how did Jesus fight back? He fought back with Scripture. But you don't think Jesus was tempted? Jesus came here to be one of us for a reason. He wanted to feel what it was like to be us, so that he would know what it meant to be us. Do you not think that he knew what was coming in his life? You don't think when he was up on top of that mountain, he saw the whole world, he didn't think, I got skills. I could probably bring this whole thing together if it was mine. And then I wouldn't have to suffer, die on a cross. But he fought back, and he knew what Satan was trying to do. Can you relate? You see, a lot of us say, I felt the Holy Spirit on me. I felt Jesus calling me, and I felt that before. I felt God pick me up when I needed it. But are we willing to admit that you've ever felt Satan pulling on you and whispering horrible things in your ears and telling you how much of a loser you are and how you should stay down and not get up? Because I felt those things too. You see, that's when he comes. When you need someone to pick you up and they're not there, he'll be glad to pull you back down. And if you're not ready to fight, you got no chance. Because we don't want to believe that that's happening. We want to believe that everything's just fine, and when bad things happen, it's because of Obama or W. Bush or H.W. Bush or Bill Clinton, or it's because of Trump. It's somebody's fault. It's because of my town, it's because of this, because of my job, because of my boss. It's not because bad things happen in a bad world. Now, I'm an open book, and you guys have heard me talk about my life before, but I've never told this story before. It's kind of personal. But I want to share with you a time that I got hit pretty hard. I've told you before that Denise and I, we've been married 17 years now, that about 7 years ago, around our 10th wedding anniversary, we went through some really hard times. And we were as close as you get to divorce without going through divorce. And that wasn't part of my plan in my life, and I like plans that work out. And if you knew me personally, now, if you were just here at church, you would have seen me put on a fake smile, pretend like things were fine. But if you knew me personally, you knew something's wrong. I was very full of delicious snacks like I am now at the time this started, and I lost a whole lot of weight, like 40 pounds worth of weight. A few people asked if I had cancer. I was a shell of myself. I barely made it to work every day, and when I did, I would wait for my planning period, and I would just sit in my room with the door like shut so I could just sleep. And I would set an alarm to wake up a couple minutes before my next class so I could teach the kids. I sat in the basement a lot and stared at the ceiling and questioned God. I probably cursed at God before and said, what is this? Seriously, I give my life to you, I work at church, I do things, and this is what I get. And every time I allowed myself to do that, guess what there was? There's this little voice in the background going, hey, you're right, man. You don't deserve this. Your life sucks. You know what you need to do? You need to complain some more. You're never going to make it. No matter what you do, you'll never fix your marriage. Why try? And it just kept pulling me down, pulling me down. And one day, I decided to use our YMCA membership that I never used. And I went to the gym with the idea in my head I was going to run. Now, I don't have great knees, although it turns out when I'm in shape, my knees feel better. Go figure. But at the time, I wasn't feeling very good. I wasn't nourishing myself very well. And I put my music on, and I grabbed an elliptical, because that's a little easier on your knees. If you've ever ridden an elliptical, they're not the most fast-moving machines when you get going. So I got on it, and I got to running, and you guys know what exercise does. It makes you feel good. Satan didn't want that for me. And I started running, and I got into it, and I was probably going for a good 15 or 20 minutes, and I started feeling good. I thought maybe exercise will help me out of this. And then I heard, what are you doing here? Why are you here? This isn't going to fix anything. Your life is over. Go home. I started feeling like garbage again. I just about got off of that elliptical to go home. Something inside me just said no. And I don't know if I said no out loud or not, but I think it did. Because I have a pretty good imagination. When I was a little kid, I would talk to myself all day. I still talk to myself. I would talk to myself a lot. And I said no. I started running with my eyes closed. And you can do that on elliptical way better than treadmill. I started using my imagination. I started picturing this no that was coming after me. This you're a loser. This you can't do it. And I pictured that Satan was there chasing me. And I started to run harder. And I started to run harder. And as I ran harder, the no's and the you can't do this and the you're a loser kept fading, but Satan didn't. And he was there and he was angry. And he was chasing after it. And I ran faster and faster. And soon I thought I started to hear cheering. And if you've ever run a race, you know how a race works. At the end, there's a whole bunch of people that like to get along the sides of the finish line and like to cheer for you. And way, way in the distance, I could see people standing near a finish line. I ran harder and harder. And if you've ever been on an elliptical trying to run really fast, it doesn't work right. It's like shaking, and I'm running and running and running with my eyes closed. And as Satan is continuing to tell me what's wrong with me and why I'm a loser and why I don't have this, I started running further, and I heard the cheering getting louder, and I heard trumpets. And as I continued to run, I started saying, you know what? You tried to take me when you took my dad from me. You tried to take me when you had my daughter in a hospital, and I didn't think she was going to make it. And you were trying to take me now, and you failed then. You failed my daughter, and you will not have my marriage. And I ran harder and harder and harder, and I think I said those things out loud. And as I got closer, I could see that the group of people were angels cheering for me, and trumpets were blasting. And I saw my dad, and he was clapping for me. And when I hit that finish line, everything changed. You see, because when I hit that finish line, Satan had lost. And just like with Jesus, he said, leave me. Satan left, and the angels attended to me. And from that point forward, I realized, you know what? I've been trained for this. I've had a lot of things in my life that haven't gone the way I would script them. But I got up, and I kept moving. And with the help of other people, with the help of my church, with the help of my mom, I got up and I fought through those things. And because of that, I was ready for this. And I said, you know what? You can't have this. I started getting kind of cocky. Because I thought, everybody asks, how come Satan lets all these people who are horrible people get stuff? And that's part of the thing. He doesn't need them. Who's he want to stop? People that are going to do stuff for God. That's who he's got to stop. And I started thinking, maybe he's a little nervous about me. Maybe the reason why he keeps messing with me is because he's afraid of what God's going to do through me. And so then I said, well, no, why don't you bring it? And then I thought, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But then I thought that's what this is. When our life is attacked, and Denise and I, as you know, we're married, and we had another little kid out of this that Satan didn't want on this earth, but she's here now. And we have a pretty strong marriage, and we've been able to maybe help a few other people with that. And I think Satan's afraid of that, and I think he's afraid of you. And I think he's afraid of what you're going to do, and what God can do through each and every one of you. Because what's awesome is, In this book right here, that last scripture verse I read for you, when you flip the page, there's a little title. You know what it says? It says, Jesus starts his ministry. That's the next thing that happens in that gospel. Satan tempts him, and then after he passes what Satan had to offer, that's when his ministry starts. What is Satan doing holding you down? What is he stopping you from accomplishing? What lies is he feeding you because you think it's just all this the way the world is? Because you have what it takes to do something awesome for God. So when are you going to start your ministry? When are you going to say, I've had enough? And say, you know what? You don't have any power over me. Because I got news for you. Satan wants to throw dirt on you and bury you and leave you down there. But the Bishop T.G. Jakes, I listened to him a couple weeks ago on the radio, and he said, maybe it's not Satan's dirt. Maybe God's throwing dirt on you. I'm like, what? And he goes, because see, when God throws dirt on you, it's like he's planting a seed. And some of those things that happen to you are so that when that seed gets a little water and you get a little bit of that stuff going, it sprouts out. And you turn into something beautiful and new and better than what you were before. Sometimes it's the struggles that make us able to win the fight. And so I tell you, how do we overcome the devil? It's the good part. It says here in Revelation 12:11, and they overcome him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives to the death. And in 1 John 4 it says, you are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. You don't have anything. Jesus did. When he died on the cross, he took it for all of us. We already won. There's a song that says, I read the back of the book and we win. It's true. We've won already. And so, I want you to think, as we leave today, about the fact that we are in this battle. A real battle. I want you to prepare yourselves and your friends and your family. And let them know that there is someone out there that wants to mess with you. But that he has no power. Because you got Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and he's got nothing.